Papa Ron, how in the world are you this morning?
Well, good morning, Rod. Doing well.
Well, good morning to you too, and good morning to all you folks out there in crypto world, crypto land. We got an interesting video this morning, and it's an ICO about horses, believe it or not. And we found it just to show you how the token and Bitcoin world is moving. It's moving in all directions. You know, we learned about cars and we learned about so many other things that we talked about that I can't remember. And here's another one. It's kind of fun to be looking at.
Yeah, what's kind of cool about this, Rod, is one, we're here in Utah, and Utah is a big horse state.
It sure is.
We have those equestrian parks in every county, it seems. Matter of fact, our state fair is always held at one. Horses are everywhere. They're a big part of this. And let me just quickly Rod, and you knew this, but several years ago, I had a son and we were both into horses. There's just something about these majestic, huge creatures and the way they look that are appealing. So we got into horses. We had about 6. Of course, we had some property here, and my boy rode them all the time up in those mountains. We're only about 10 blocks from the mountains, folks, where we live. And him and his buddies were up there all the time on horses. And I had me a horse, and it was a big old monster, and it had a unique brand right up on the necks. Almost like it was a military horse. I could never figure it out, but it's kind of interesting. And my boy, trying to shorten this up as quick as I can, Rod.
Oh, but that's good.
He had a horse called Kitty Rose, and that thing ran like the wind, man, and he loved that. Thing was so fast. But we were saddling up one day and wanted to go up in the mountains and show me a few things, and he said, "Well, let's trade horses, Dad." I said, "Well, yeah, all right, I'll get on Kitty Rose." Oh, my land. I got on that horse, and the rodeo started. It was about $3 or $4, and I hit my shoulder on the ground, and that horse took off. I thought it'd be a week before we found that thing, but luckily he got on that horse and we found it. But so we have liked horses. We have since gotten out of that out of that hobby, I guess. But it was always satisfying and fun to be in it. Like I said, there's just something about a horse that people love. And if you know any horse lovers, folks, people are willing to spend money on their horses, especially if they're in cities where they have to board them somewhere, and they pay for the grooming and the feed, and they don't just buy these average mountain horses. They buy top quality bred horses, and that's another thing big in our state, Rod, is horse racing. I mean, we don't have a lot of official racetracks, but within Colorado and Wyoming, and it's a big deal, and there's a lot of money spent on that. One thing, though, Rod, I did not know, and it's what this company is trying to solve. It's a real problem, folks, and I didn't have any clue about it. And that's about that if the saddle and the rider are not positioned correctly on the horse, it could favor, just like if you get a pebble in your shoe.
Oh yeah.
You kind of not put the pressure on it, and you kind of favor your other side, and it's the same with the horse. If a rider is not positioned right, or the saddle, they kind of don't perform all that correctly, and I wasn't aware of that. So that's the problem they're trying to solve, and evidently 45% of all horses through their surveys probably have this problem with saddle fit, that it's not on there correctly, or maybe the pad, and it causes the horse to, like I say, walk a little softer on one side or not perform like it should. So these folks, EHO. Do you want me just to get into this now, Rod? Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready to go, brother.
Now that I'm done rambling about personal experiences.
I can tell you a bunch about me.
Yeah, I know. I know. Folks, we could sit here and tell stories and laugh till noon. And Rod and I do that. When we go out to lunch, we get reminiscent about things and how much fun we have had when we used to be in business together and do things. And of course, we evolved from horses into motorcycles. Oh, do you remember that?
That's just a natural evolvement.
Well, with age, you just got to flick the wrist like this, to go. Anyway, we had a great time with that. So there's a real problem with these horses, and this EHO, and believe it or not, folks, they've been around a few years. This isn't something that's just happened. They have a patent on a saddle that's made with like a smart textile. It's a saddle pad that goes under the saddle, and it's filled with these sensors that kind of. Matter of fact, let me just show a picture of it right here, Rod.
That'd be the best thing.
This is just a representation of what's going on. But this saddle pad kind of sends data through these sensors to an app in the phone. Now, the app isn't totally designed as of yet. They have that on the roadmap when they want to complete that. But they do have a demo one, a pad that's working. And this sends that information to this app, and it corrects either the rider's stance or the position of the pad and saddle. It can even help them determine the proper saddle for that horse. So, and you probably wonder, it's not that big a deal, but it really is, especially people that care about their horses and that are in this industry of this. It's a $300 billion industry, the horse industry, Rod. Do you figure that too?
Yeah. There it is there.
Oh, yeah.
Along with that app, if I could say, Ron, that little picture we saw before, you could see that young lady had her knees really digging into the horse's ribs there. See, we can see where her knees is. That's the hottest part of it. But what it does, this blanket, or this, what do you call it, textile
pad, saddle pad,
or horse pad, it positions the rider so they don't have the back hurt or the legs hurt, or makes it more comfortable all around and safer for them to ride, and also for the horse. It tells where the horse can actually run better, or is positioned where it's not being hurt in any way, or hurting in any way, like you said, like a pebble in the shoe. It's awesome.
Yeah, so the information coming back helps both the horse and the rider. And where their main focus, folks, is really on horse trainers. Evidently, and they've got statistics all over. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's just look at this web page real quick, Rod, can we?
Yeah, let's do that.
They do have a patent on like this, like I said, and in the white paper's the patent number, and I think somewhere there's even a picture of the patent, so they're definitely qualified. They've been working on this a while. Folks, you got to get a pre-sale invite, so you got to fill out the little form in here, right here. Once again, and you know why, the SEC, U.S. investors are disqualified from participating, but there might be some hope, because I think as soon as these things get on the market, they're going to put them on the exchanges, and there's a reason why, and U.S. people could probably buy them from the exchange at that time. Look, they're only looking, Rod, for a hard cap of $1.75 million. It's not one of these companies that are looking for $40 million. And really, they've already got the demo. They've already done a lot of the research. The textile knows how to be made. They just need further, and they need to create the first batch of saddles to sell. So it's a pretty low cap. Anyway, that kind of excited me too. They've been written up in several articles. They're going to this consensus in 2018. What am I headed here for, Rod?
I don't know.
They are the first ever horse saddle that does all this stuff. I mean, like I say, there is a little bit of competition out there, but they don't do anything like this Smart Textile does. And of course, they're going to have the free app. Here we are. This is what I wanted to see, Rod. Sorry.
Okay.
It says here that the biggest amount of money spent on horses is in Europe, the UK and all, and that's where they're going to focus their first, not attack, but their first push of sales is in the UK. I guess they got 900,000 horses and over 10,000 trainers. Now, these trainers are going to be where they're going to push this. And the trainers, and they've done a lot of homework already. They've done several interviews. They got a university involved in actually structuring this Smart Textile. They've contacted a lot of the experts, and they were a major factor in where these sensors should be and some of that stuff. So they've done a lot of homework.
They have. They
think the trainers are the way to go because, and Rod, they're not going to be that expensive. I kind of figured the price. I think they were talking that it's only going to be about $600 for one of these pads, US dollars. And they estimate that half of that will be profit.
Wow.
So it's not bad at all. So their focus will be started, like I say, in the UK. United States isn't far behind. And this was interesting, that China has increased in their horse interest by 1,500%.
Wow. Wow.
They have a lot of horse clubs and all. 7 million Americans are directly involved in the U.S. industry. 2 million of these are horse owners.
Yep.
So
I could see that.
They have so they have the problem. They solved it. And the way they're going to get sales, they expect 20,000 sales, Rod, I believe it was, within the first 2 years of releasing this. And they're planning to release these saddles, I think, the third quarter of 2018. So because all the preliminary work's been done, they just need to fine-tune the software, produce the first batch, and start selling them. And they've already contacted a lot of these. And you know, they're in contact with magazines. There's been a lot of articles written about them.
Oh, yeah. There has.
So with 20,000 sales, I think that equaled to 12 million or more dollars, US dollars. And of course, you can only get these pads with EHO tokens.
Yeah.
So if people don't have tokens or not involved, and see, here's another prime example, Rod, of I don't want to say an everyday use, but a use item that's going to promote crypto within the world.
Sure.
The horse industry.
It is.
So if you want one of these, you've got to either have the tokens and they're going to sell them initially on the website only. And if people pay with US dollars or euros or whatever, they will convert that into tokens by going to an exchange where they're listed and purchasing themselves. The EHO people will. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does.
So if somebody says, hey, I'm not into crypto, all I got is euros, it's all right, send them in, and whatever the current price is, that's what they're going to buy off the exchange to convert this guy into his saddle pad.
Good.
No, and it helps those of us that are invested in and have tokens, because the more sales, obviously that price is going to go up more.
Sure it will.
It'll be good. What have I missed, Rod? Talk the price. Oh, the app on the phone. Now this isn't going to come out exactly when the saddle pad comes out. They're fine tuning that, but this will be residual income for the company, which will also increase value of everything, because there'll be a monthly subscription, I believe. They've talked about doing that where you have the pad, but it'll be a monthly subscription to have the data on your phone and stuff. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
It's an interesting way to do this. I've never seen the structure so easy to buy. Number one, the product easy to buy because you can buy it in any currency or any fiat, and then it's converted into the EHO token, and then the EHO token in turn gets used by all those who are involved in it, and then they get a return for their, and that's how it goes up, and it's a return. I think it's an excellent uh, or excellent's not the word. It is excellent, but the word I'm looking for is a unique way to do this. I think it's awesome. Plus what it will do for a rider, for improving the rider's position on the horse and also the horse. I don't know. It's a win-win combination to me.
It's pretty slick if you're into horses. I agree.
It is.
And this is the first ever thing that's been like this. They're the first company to do this. And if this goes well, there's other avenues they can put this smart textile in. Matter of fact, let me show you a couple more things about the company. Here's an article back in 2016, and this is out of labs of Lativa. That's another country, I guess.
Yeah, Finland.
EHO Textiles named the most promising startup in Finland. And it even talks about these textiles here for humans and stuff. Of course, their focus right now is on horses, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's excellent.
Of course, folks, if you want to catch up on the current stuff, they have Twitter and Facebook and all that, but this is Reddit, EHO Reddit. There's question and answers on here, and their white paper. We'll put the white paper down, but definitely go to the website. We'll put that link in the description box. But Rod, the pre-sale on this starts on the, I believe it's the 17th of this month, and goes till the 1st of May. And the white paper says that these tokens are going to be a penny US dollar each, is the way I understood it. And there's no minimum that I saw. Of course, I didn't sign up for the white list yet, and maybe there's more instructions on that. We ought to do that real quick, Rod. But so, and then after May 1st starts the regular ICO, and that goes till June 15th. So there'll be time there, and like I said, they're only trying to raise $1.75 million to finish this thing up. I think it's a pretty cool deal. And
it is.
What caught my interest is it's about horses, and of course in Utah, and I've been a horse guy in the past, and
me too.
I think it's cool.
It is.
All right, folks, check it out. We'll put some of the links. And of course, all the links will be in the web page. So if you click that one first, you can find all your other ones in there. I'm sure the white paper. And they have a one-pager, so you can read real quick. Definitely go to the frequently asked questions. Some of the things are explained a little better in there. And thank you very much, Rod, for having me on the show.
No, it's nice to have you on the show, Rod. Yeah. Hey, can I tell me a little horse story real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I can cut it off.
Well, if you do, I'm going to say,
yeah, do your thumbs up and God bless first, will you? And then the story.
Yeah. I had a little 40-acre farm. Maybe I won't tell it. I had a little 40-acre farm.
Rod, let me interject here.
Excuse me.
No, don't excuse me. Rod had all his property in Texas, and he was really close to the King Ranch. Now, the King Ranch is as big as a state in itself. It's unbelievable. And Rod used to visit the King Ranch anyway. So he's got 40 acres. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, 40 acres, and I raised some horses on it. I built some stalls, and I built some stalls and rented them out to people, and had a barn up there. Anyway, people board their horses there with me, and I would walk them and ride them out, and do all kinds of things with them. And then after they get through, I do like Ron said, brush them down and stuff. But I had this one little mare, and she was an Appaloosa, and she had a Roman nose. It kind of looked ugly. It was an ugly Appaloosa. Let's put it this way. But that horse was so, I don't know what it was. I never could figure her out. When I'd get on her and sit on her, and I'd throw my leg out this way, well, she'd jump to the other side, and like she was focusing on me instead of where she was going. I had a bale of hay sitting out there, and she would run right into it and stumble right over it.
Because she was so busy with her ears back to you, huh?
Yeah, so busy looking here. So I'm thinking maybe this blanket might have helped her relax more, because maybe I was sitting wrong on her. I don't know, but because of course this is back in the 70s, so I was just a young pup myself.
Yeah.
Man, there was one time when I first started breaking her in, she was kind of green broke. Man, I tell you, she bucked me off about 3 or 4 times, man, so, before I finally could even get on her to ride her,
Yeah.
Well, she was something else. Anyway, that's just a little story that I want to tell. Ain't no big deal. All right. Appreciate y'all watching, and God bless.